Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and this is my beautiful wife, Lynn. Today we're going to discuss more questions that we get from people who use our products.
Okay, well, one thing I want to remind everybody about, this is September of 2019, and for this month, our plasma energy station is offered at the current price along with a free thyroid vial as part of the special. And it is a reminder that next month the cost on the plasma energy station is going to increase. And we have discussed what if you're on a tight budget, Paul, and what would you suggest to people? They say, well, I can't afford this.
Well, if you can get 2 or 3 or 4 or however many people together and split the cost, then when you get the plasma energy station, you can duplicate it, put it on patches or in vials, however you want to duplicate it, and spread it out amongst your friends and relatives. And you can supply as many people as you want with that basic energy, and they in turn can develop it into more and more energy. So it's just a matter of getting enough people together to lower the cost to a point to where you're comfortable with it.
Okay, and when we send the plasma energy station, this is the way we send it, warm door to warm door. And that'll last till sometime in November in our part of the country. I know a lot of you are in warmer parts, but when it leaves our place, it might freeze overnight before it ever gets to the warm part of the country. And the little glass vials will often, well, not often, but they will freeze and break.
Yeah, occasionally they do.
And so it's just easier to deal with that in advance. And so we do larger BPA-free plastic vials in the wintertime. And when we send, and we combine 4 of the small vials into one of these. So you receive 4 of these for the plasma energy station. And we also send these out. These always are what we send outside of the country. And these have been soaked thoroughly with the plasma energy station contents, and then they are packaged up after they're completely dry, and they will last, you always say, probably longer than we will.
Longer than we will, right.
Okay, and I have a question here. I just received my station, and I can't wait to get started. But I have a question about my container. It is a blue tinted, and you've seen these water jugs that have a slight blue tinge to them, but you can see through it. That's fine. As you notice with the different color spray bottles we have, you can see inside of these. You can see there's a vial inside of it. So the color isn't a problem. It's when you get into something that is opaque that it's going to stop. And do you want to elaborate on that?
Right. Yeah, like thick plastic that you can't see through, or a completely colored glass that you can't see through. Those, for some reason, and I'm not exactly sure why, do not let the plasma energy fields develop. And they contain the fields and don't let them spread out. So we don't, and they don't develop the GANs inside of there either. So we don't recommend that we use anything opaque.
Okay, and that would include your very favorite ceramics or even
crockery.
And stainless steel. It's not going to work with that either. Okay, and then this is something I haven't talked about for a while. And we do have the treated gloves, and we also have, you can purchase the gloves alone, or you can get a vial that you can then set up your own jar and treat as many gloves as you like. How long do the gloves last? Well, these are nice and white, right? Now, this was a sad little glove that I've had for about 3 years, and I use it to type in. It's been through the laundry. I've cut the fingertips off so I can feel the keyboard. It still works. It's pretty homely. It's not going to leave the house. So, but the point is, even though I've laundered it, as you can see, there's little pieces of lint that have stuck to it. Even though I've laundered it, it has not lost the plasma energy.
Well, why do you even wear that glove?
Well, sometimes when I'm typing, if my hands get tired, especially my right hand, because if I'm going back and forth, say, from a YouTube and transcribing that YouTube, there's a lot of stop and go, and then your hands just get tired. And you wear these sometimes too.
Mine are because of arthritic knuckles and fingers and everything, and it does give me a lot of relief. Keeps my hands from cramping up when I'm working with a lot of small things, the vials and the shungite and stuff. My hands cramp, but when I wear those gloves, they don't. So that gives me a lot of relief.
And you have a set under your pillow if you need them at night.
Right.
Okay. And then one of the things you can do with your plasma energy station water, you can take something like this and spray it. And then if you're going to fly somewhere and pick up all the airplane germs, maybe you can slow them down. And your mask would have the plasma energy fields on it. Just put it on and wear it. And, you know, if enough people did this, maybe it would embarrass the airlines enough to put more fresh air in the mix. So speaking of that, it seems like people start getting more viruses and things like that in the fall. And let's show people what our go-to cold. We do have something for colds and flu.
This is, you can see the GANs here on the bottom. It's a kind of a greenish tint, turquoise color. That's copper oxide, CO2, and zinc with a little bit of CH3 in there. And this combination gives me rapid relief from a scratchy, oncoming sore throat. And within a day or so of drinking this water 3 times a day, it's gone. And it does not develop into a full-blown cold. So I'm real happy about this combination here. You can see the tiny, tiny particles that come up in there. And that's been a real help for me since I am on immune suppressants because of a kidney transplant. And the immune suppressants keep my body from rejecting the transplanted kidney, but at the same time, it makes me susceptible to all of the germs that come in from outside, other people who are carrying them, things like that. And so it's been a great thing for me, especially during the cold weather.
And I use it too if I feel something coming on, and for the last couple of years, about the only thing I ever get is it stops whatever it is, but I might get laryngitis, and my talking goes to practically nothing. So that may be also called Paul relief. And then I'd like you to explain how you evolved from this to these.
These are rings that I made, and they've got magnesium, CO2, and CH3 in these rings. I used to wear them around my knees because of arthritic knees. And what we've done, instead of using these, we've evolved to using the same formulation, but putting it on these little Band-Aids. And we just put it right here on the
I'll be your knee.
on the pad part and let it dry real good for a couple of days. And then on one side of my knee, I'll put 2, just like this. And then on the other side of my knee, I'll put 1. And this creates a gradient of a greater field on this side and a lesser field on this side. And as such, there's a balancing effect. The two sides strive to bring a balance to the whole thing, and therefore the energies move from side to side and give relief to the arthritic knees. And since I've been using these, I wear them 24 hours a day instead of just during the daytime, and my knees have totally quit hurting. And so I don't have to deal with the pain of arthritic knees anymore. It's been great.
Well, and speaking of the Band-Aids and just the way we were holding them, if somebody was dealing with an issue, say, of carpal tunnel, they could put it on there just about where you had them on my hand.
Right.
If you were dealing with a shoulder issue, you could do them front and back in the
Right.
same manner. So hips, you could do the same way, front and back. How would you do for a back? Let's say you have a sore back. Where would you put the Band-Aids?
Well, it depends on where it's sore. You'd put the 2 right over the sore spot, and then 1 in front on your abdomen, directly opposite that sore spot.
Okay, so if it was up high, you might end up with a Band-Aid on your chest and
Right.
and whatever. Okay, and you know, those are fabric Band-Aids, and they just, when they're done, they fall off, and then it's time to put a new Band-Aid on. But it's
Yeah.
really an easy way to address any issues with pain. So then I think, are we running out of time here?
We're close.
Okay, all right. So another thing you can do with the plasma energy station, of course, is to set this up. And what I've done with the spray bottle is I've sprayed it all around the doors and windows on our house and across the thresholds. We don't get flying insects in here at all. I don't think they like the energy fields. And we had a fly this summer. Did you hear that word, a fly? I don't know where the fly swatter is. Fly flew past me. I didn't see it again, and the next day one of our cats was sitting on a chair staring intently at the window on the back door that has a curtain on it. I pulled the curtain back and there's this fly. I opened the door, the fly flew out, and it was like, thank goodness somebody let me out of that place. So this is really effective at just cutting down the population of things you don't want in your house.
Right.
Yeah, so, and it reminds me that you can also spray this on your arm. Well, we did it in lieu of sunscreen. We were sitting at a 4th of July parade and sprayed it all over our arms. It was high noon, it was really hot. And you could just see people getting sunburned all around us. Well, I kept spraying, and I kept spraying Paul, and we got back in. And later that day I looked, and his far arm had a bit of a sunburn because I wasn't spraying the far arm that much. But for the rest of us, there was no signs.
Right.
Yeah. So there's, and again, you're not using anything that has toxic chemicals in it or that's greasy or anything like that. You're just spraying something on your body that's going to balance the fields.
Right.
So, all right, well, I think we better cut it short here, and I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure and see our website, plasmaenergysolution.com, and on the shop feature on the home page, if you'll click on products, we have all the videos we're doing with whatever products we're talking about. We also have the frequently ask questions videos we're starting to put up on the FAQ and testimonials part of the website. And we're also doing transcripts.
Right, on the, they're posted on the blogs, aren't they?
They're going to have a separate page.
The transcripts for
Yes.
for the videos.
Right, so we've done transcripts for the videos, and that may be helpful for people who are not in the U.S. who don't speak English, because if they have a translator program, they might be able then to translate those blogs, and that's why we've done, one of the reasons we've done that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much for watching, and anything else, Paul?
If you've enjoyed this video, give us a big thumbs up and share it with your friends and relatives. And if you have questions, just type out a little question in the comments down below, and we'll do our best to answer those in upcoming videos. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.